Okay, there's a couple ways to attack the omoplata. I just want you guys to understand like why we would go towards the monoplata and do the hip roll instead of attacking the hip. Let's do the omoplata real quick. Okay, so like what I mean by attacking the hip is anything I'm doing to try and break this guy down and get his far side arm to try and attack this hip. It doesn't matter if it's this way, it doesn't matter if it's rolling him over me, right? Whatever the case may be, that's that style of attacking the omoplata, okay? Turn more around, head towards me. Then there's the other way, which is attacking more towards the head, okay? So like you started doing these type of attacks, go platas, and basically I'm fighting the arms and stuff like that. Up here I can do stretches, get submissions, right? There's all sweeps that I can do, take them back over and put them into the monoplata position, tap them, you know, like, so you can have the attack that's attacking his head and arms right here for the omoplata, which is more a submission-based attack, or then you have the attacking and trying to break his hips down or sweep him or grab his far side shoulder and finish the omoplata or the sweep that way. Okay, so they're both forms of control. This one is also a form of control. This is definitely for intermediate people. It's not for beginners because if they don't know what's up, they can get tapped just by where they're at. Let me explain to you what's going on. When I take my feet and I go laces down, okay, so my laces will be down. I won't roll over like this. I go laces down and I just go ahead and roll my hip. If Ryan, you stay until it taps you, Ryan, okay? If Ryan stays, he's already tapping. So he's forced to roll over when I just hip through, okay? Now I can control his arm. Turn towards the camera more. So if I back step and trap his arm right here, or sorry, his neck. This is a good grip, guys. I want you to understand this grip, this position. Ryan tries to sit up, it really blocks him. If I have my ankles crossed here, I can have him in a situation to where obviously if he comes forward, he's in a triangle situation, right? But the way that I have his arm bent over my hip here causes that shoulder torque. I can pull his elbow up and even get the submission like that. I can have my foot outside because this knee being lifted is what actually does that shoulder submission right here. See that? My knee being lifted, and that's why I would actually pull it. But the real submission is in the butt scoop. That's where you get the actual tap. So you're trying to slide, orbit around his head, lift your knee, it really gets him really good. Okay, so the trick is when I get the hand to the mat, instead of getting in this fight, resist the omoplata, right? Instead of getting in this fight, like, you know, dealing with his feet or getting stacked, right? Maybe try and stack me this way, right? Go around this way, right? He starts doing stuff like this. I'm just fighting the omoplata in different ways. If I get the feet over the head, instead of staying on my back, instead of staying like this on my back here, okay? I should always be trying to sit up. But if I don't do that, if I just throw my feet over and then get up, boom, and roll the hips, it'll roll his shoulder through. Right? So if I were to catch the omoplata, I just go. Now if I want to control, I'll control his arm. And I can start to attack that omoplata right here, pull that elbow, and he'll tap. Okay? Now the same thing happens in different positions on your back. As an experienced grappler, Ryan's gonna bump and start to get his underhook, right? Bump, and he starts to get his underhook. Then he's gonna start to bump up towards dogfight. When he does that, I'm able to throw my arm over, or sorry, my leg, right? I throw my leg over. If you see his underhook nice and gripped, you see how it kills it? It pops it off. But again, I'm right here with this leg. I can start to bring this foot over if I want and go back towards the omoplata, or stay with the mono this way. But if you're not flexible, just keep this foot next to his head and just come down into this position, and now you have the submission right there. So you can go against some of his tendencies. He starts to get the underhook, right? It's a very strong position, very strong submission, and it really gets people, man. It pins them down, gets their shoulders. It's not easy to escape, okay? So one last thing here, if someone ever messes, if I want to, I can actually take this and hook his neck or his armpit, especially when I'm doing like the stretch right here and I'm putting pressure on his shoulder and getting that submission just by stretching him out. But if he's like, and he postures, it's easy to kick him right over into that same position. I just have my legs triangled. Instead of being like this, I have my legs triangled, and I can even have it around his neck or his armpit. But the same thing, I lift my knee, scoop my butt, I got him in the mono. So put these two together, put the straight jacket together, watch. So I go for this, he starts to mess with his foot with his other hand. I'm able to take that other hand, pull my foot underneath to the far side, turn a little bit for me, Ryan. And now I can stomp my own heel and stretch. He starts to get the submission. One more time. I go here, he starts to mess with my foot. I can pull his arm across. So this side is choking his neck, my shin is choking his neck on this side. I have the tension of pulling. I can also stomp and get the submission. It's real nasty. But let's say we're here now and we put this game into effect. I sweep him over. If he ever starts to mess with my foot here, guys, I want you to realize that you also have it here. Okay, or you could just lock back up and lift that elbow and take the Monoplata. There's a lot of information there, but if you kind of see all those are connected, you can get it from a lot of places and continue to attack it. Look at places where his arms are up and away from his body, and you can either swing a leg over for Omoplata from the top or from the bottom.